Yeah, so the question that I get it from you is like difficulty. So difficulty accessing or expressing anger in a healthy way, and what this mean like healthy anger, and then some kind of some blockage around expression or speaking up or saying no. And also you mentioned also saying that you were inspired by the movie when something sad happened and somebody just broke down in loud, crying. Actually, this reminds me that Scott Kilby talks about that he was already pretty way on the path and like wrote a bunch of books about awakening and all that. And then his mother died, and he went to the funeral, and he basically everybody was like, and then he was just crying and bawling, and then people were coming to him and be like, oh man, I'm so sorry you're taking it so hard. And he didn't say anything, but he was like, man, I'm so sorry you are repressing all of this. It might be some distortion around what it means to be a spiritual person or somebody on the path that may look like, like Buddha, however Buddha was, we don't know, or Eckhart Tolle, is always cool and calm. And so, as if somehow there's some program that to have a feeling or a strong feeling or to show it, it's a sign of weakness, or it is, I'm hysterical, or I'm weak, or I have to control it, or a spiritual person doesn't get angry. So yeah, these are all due to the fact that we have been, our parents that didn't, their emotional bodies were somehow frozen, and they were conditioned with, it's not okay to feel. It's not okay to feel sad. It's not okay to cry, but actually part of healthy, if we want to reach peace or clarity, we can't reach this on top of unfelt, repressed feelings. So we can't. It's not possible. And actually, the more we don't allow the feeling, actually will go into somatization. Like it starts to go into chronic pain, it starts to go into all kind of things like that. But coming back to healthy anger, basically, now what usually happens is that people either like repress it, they don't allow it, or they are just blowing on people and they're like mean or hurtful and they are like shouting, and that is not what we are talking about here. So that's kind of dysregulated, losing it. And often a lot of that comes from something happens, I'm taking it personally, I'm making the story up, oh, they don't respect me, and it reminds me of when I was a child and my father didn't listen to me, so now all this anger pent up now comes up for all those years and I'm blowing on the other person. So coming back to Francis, one of my teachers was actually saying that this outrage, it's in one way, it's a very natural, necessary, divine emotion. Outrage, for example, when we see someone that is, a child is being abused, or dog or animal being mistreated, we feel this like the rise of energy, and we're like, ah. And so there's outrage. And actually, this is not an ego emotion. This is that deep down, we know that deep down, we feel their pain and we need to do something about it. So then this energy of anger, it's necessary in order to do something about it. And say, hey, stop it. Don't treat your child like that, Because ultimately we are one. So we feel other people's pain and we know that it's deeply wrong. So we don't need to stop. Outrage, it's more extreme. But yeah, basically, if we start to undo the mechanism of why it's not allowed. So we can undo this with all kind of inquiry. Then this energy of anger is more accessible. So basically, a clear expression of anger is to put boundaries. And so when something happens, not react right away. I mean, it's fine to react right away too, but it may get more messy. We may go for a period from being repressed. It's not allowed. Now we allow it, and it's messy. We may need to go for a period of we start to find our way with it. But the idea is to, in a clean way, meaning that we are not insulting the person. We don't need to shout at the person. We don't need to call them an asshole. We don't need to judge them, but we can say, what's up for us? Like, hey, this is not okay with me. You can't say this in my house. You need to go now. So this will be basically to speak up. When anger is repressed, the voice is repressed. And then we are going against ourselves. And then we have resentment about the other person. Then we have upset with ourselves. We didn't say anything. Like, to give an example. So, I work with many people, and then, there's this person that is sending me more texts and stuff like that. And then, so, asks me for kind of some stuff, and then usually, so I have, I work a lot, so it's good not to work a lot also afterwards in text and all that, although sometimes it can be an exception, or sometimes it can be okay. And also, it's, for me, I should stabilize this on the beginning. Say, hey, I'm totally able to be here for you, but I can't do text therapy and stuff. So, it's good to say that. Anyway, and this person, which is a very nice person, somehow, getting more texts, and then somehow I felt that wanted me to respond, and so I noticed I felt like very little empathy in myself, and I was like really angry. So, oh, man, fuck. So the idea is to tune in, to slow down a bit, to tune into yourself and see what's going on here. So I was like, okay, I'm angry now. In connection to, I felt like I'm pressured to respond, and I don't have time and bandwidth to be on all the time respond. I cannot do this. And so also my residual of good boy kind of feels like I have to and I need to. So I kind of tuned into that, and so I actually send a voicemail. I send a voice message right away saying like, hey man, I hear you, but honestly, I'm a little bit of triggered because I'm working with many people, and also I have my mother, and I have my girlfriend, and I have all kind of things. So I'm really not able to be there for you by text. I'm not able to. I'm fully able to be with you in our session, but I'm not able to do that. So I'm sorry, but that's where I'm at. So please, when something comes like that, you have other circle of support, please go there. No, I'm happy to see you next time. And I said it, and I felt a little bit like, because it's more like new for me to put boundaries. There was a little like, ooh, then it comes like, oh, it's going to be upset with me, it's kind of like that. But, I'm already more used to this. So that felt right. I said that, and it was gone. I felt good. And if it was upset, it's upset. If it doesn't work with me, it doesn't want to work with me, it's okay. That was my authentic truth, And to my surprise, he was like, hey man, I hear you. I appreciate your honesty. I like that. I get it. So no problem. I will reach out to my other brothers. And I really want you to have some ease and to some, So I was like, great. And it was done, it was over. If I didn't say anything, I'll be like, oh man, this guy, I have to do this, and then I'll have all this session with the person, and if I didn't say, I'll be like, this guy, man. So, it was all about me that will churn because I wasn't able to put boundaries, Also, if somebody lies to us, or somebody takes advantage of us, or somebody is shouting at us, or tricking us, or judging us, or something. It's very legitimate to have like this, and it's good to develop the habit to speak in a try the best you can to not be hurtful, not judgmental, not hurtful, but to share what's not okay with me and what you need, it's very important. Being like a doormat is not spiritual, Remember David Hawkins was saying that he was teaching this to cultivate lovingness. That's good part of the path, to be loving and to develop your heart, and one of his great methods for evolution, which I agree, is to cultivate some attitude of lovingness and benevolence towards all beings, including myself and including creatures, and to have goodwill, to have that goodwill, benevolence towards all beings. But he was saying that it can be a danger to people on the path, that they can go, they do that, but then they start taking abuse, and they are not able to put boundaries. So he was saying, hey, give an example, the lady will say, hey, I love you, care about you, but if you don't leave now, I'm going to call cops. You must leave now. So that's the most loving thing, actually, for oneself and all of that. An example, I remember that, I was the partner or someone, and for me in childhood, it was sometimes somebody in my family was raising a voice of shouting, so as a child, be shocked by that. There's a freezing because of kids, we can't do it, can't put boundaries. So my system got used to being, when somebody shouts or raises their voice, I'm like frozen, But it took me some time to not stay there. It's more like trauma response, frozen, and to be able to put boundaries and to ensure emotional safety. So it was very nice when one time, I think, this lady was raising a voice at me, and I was like, hey, can you turn it down a notch, please? I can't hear you like this. I'm getting triggered. I don't want that. So could you please lower your voice so I can hear you better? And it feels very good. The more you do it, you'll see it feels good. I'm not doing this. Yeah. But in order to do that, we can also use some of these KI inquiries to find out what's that, like, what's that? So there are some good inquiries to do, which are saying this statement, which is going to evoke more the good boy program. And a good inquiry for that is to, clear your mind and you are present, and then say this, it's okay for me to say no. It's okay for me to say no. Or say like, I don't mind if people are upset with me. And then witness. The idea is to say this not as a positive affirmation or mantra, but to see whatever comes up. And because now what will come up is the program. So there's some inquiries like, it's okay to say no. I don't need to please people. I don't mind if people are upset with me. I don't mind. I can easily put boundaries. And so that for some of us who have this program, it will come some resistance, like, no, is going to be upset with me, or they're going to judge me, or there might be thoughts or some feelings. So it evokes the program from childhood. And, there are other technology to explore. There's a lot of unconscious utility. There's some payoff of not speaking up. There's some subconscious payoff of not saying no. So we need to find that out, to see that, because it's a young program that doesn't serve us. I get to not rock the boat. I get to avoid tension. But practice.